The Pixel 10 Pro XL is Google's latest flagship. It's bigger, smarter, and more AI powered than ever. But is it truly worth the upgrade? Or is it just an incremental step from the Pixel 9 Pro XL? Let's break it down. What's up guys, welcome back to Michael's Tech Talk. So this is my full review of the Pixel 10 Pro XL. First, let's get the specs out of the way. This weighs in at 232 grams. It's got a 6.8 inch action panel display with a resolution of 1344 by 2992. It's 120 Hz refresh rate, peak brightness up to 3300 nits, which is pretty beastie. Chipset, it has the new Google Tensor G5 paired with 16 gig of RAM. Comes in storage options, 256 gig, 512 gig, or 1 terabyte. Cameras come with a 50 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto lens with a 5x optical zoom, plus a 42 megapixel selfie camera. Battery houses a 5200 mAh battery, 45 watt wired charging, and 25 watt Qi 2 wireless charging, with Pixel Snap now as well as standard. Android 16, 7 years of updates promised, and it comes in 4 colours: Obsidian, Porcelain, Jade, and this fantastic Moonstone. So let's talk about the design and build. This is a big phone. 6.8 inch display makes its presence known immediately. At over 230 grams, it's hefty, but the polished aluminium frame and the Gorilla Glass give it a premium, durable feel. Google also added magnets in the back, letting you snap on Pixel Snap accessories. So this is Pixel's version of MagSafe, so you get wallets, chargers, stands, that type of thing. In all honesty, this is long overdue and it is a welcome addition. I just wish other Android flagships would follow suit. I'm looking at you, Samsung. You heard me. So let's talk more about the display. This is an OLED panel, LTPO, 120 Hz, adaptive refresh rate, hits brightness levels that are easily visible in direct sunlight. Colors pop without being oversaturated, and viewing angles are excellent. This is definitely one of the best smartphone screens I've used. And then cameras. So the cameras are the heart of the Pixel, right? So Pixels were always famous for their value and for their cameras. This does deliver. It's got a 50 megapixel main sensor, 48 megapixel ultra wide with autofocus for macro shots, and a 48 megapixel 5x telephoto lens. So all around, pretty good on paper. And on the front, 48 megapixel ultra wide selfie camera as well. The improvements in optical zoom are noticeable. Shots at 5x and 10x look sharper than before. But what about that 100x zoom? Honestly, it's more of a bragging right than something you'll actually use. Again, it's something you'll just show that it can do. AI plays the bigger role here, so when you do that 100x and then it processes that photograph, yeah, it's a cool thing. And while some of the AI features feel a bit half-baked, the cameras themselves can still take fantastic photos, which at the end of the day, that's what you want your camera to do. So let's talk performance. The Tensor G5 chip is efficient, it's AI ready, but it's not a performance monster. Everyday tasks are smooth, but gamers and power users, you may be a bit disappointed. It doesn't keep up with the raw speed of, say, a Snapdragon chip or Apple's Pro chips in the Pro phones. And here's the catch. So much of this phone now leans on AI, from editing to messaging to photography. It feels nearly like every feature is AI assisted. That's cool, but it can feel like Google's leaning too hard on the software when the hardware just isn't just pushing the envelope. It isn't where it needs to be. And battery and charging. So the XL packs a 5200 mAh battery. And this is one area where Google nailed it. Battery life is excellent. Day and a half easy of real world use is not a problem. Charging has improved too, 45 watt wired charging, 25 watt wireless charging speeds with that Pixel Snap Qi 2, which is pretty good. Now, it's not the fastest in the industry, but it's finally getting up to level with its competitors. Moving on to software and features, this phone launches with Android 16 and a new flood of AI tools like Gemini Live, Magic Q, Camera Coach, the list goes on. Some of them work great, some need a little more polish. The best part, Google's promising 7 years of OS and security updates. So this phone is built for the long haul, in theory. I'm still skeptical about 7 years of updates. That's implying that Google's hardware will last 7 years. So on to my verdict, the good and the bad. What's good? Battery life is excellent. I can't fault the battery life. Optical zoom is much improved, making mid-range zoom shots sharper. Pixel snap magnets are finally here, which is long overdue, and I'm glad that Google have finally done it. Other Android manufacturers need to follow suit. The huge display is pretty decent, and it is on par with some of the other Android phones out there. The cameras, they are really decent. Paired with Google's AI tools, they can produce some of the best photos, and you can edit them and you can do all sorts of things with them, which is pretty good. The design of the phone is more polished and durable. It feels really premium. It feels fantastic to hold. Cannot fault it. It does feel like a real good premium phone. But that being said, what about the bad? To be honest, 100x is just a bragging right. If you're bragging about 100x zoom on a smartphone, you need to have a look at yourself. Nothing's going to beat a proper camera with a proper zoom lens. Not to mention the fact as well, you are zooming in and having AI process your photo to make it try and look half good. It's not a good look. Many of these AI features are pretty half-baked. If you already own a 9 Pro XL, there's not really much of a reason to upgrade. There's not much is overly different with this. Now, if you're coming from a 7 or even an 8, then yes, this is worth an upgrade. But performance still lags behind the competition and will disappoint power users. If you're used to using a Snapdragon powered S25 Ultra or an iPhone Pro using Apple's Pro chips, there is going to be a big change in performance. If you're doing high powered games and that kind of type of thing, you are going to notice it. And finally, for me, I feel there's too much reliance on AI. It feels like Google is using this to cover their lack of their hardware leaps. So instead of them coming out and saying, we have this new massive chip and it is so many times more powerful and it can do this and it can do this, it's just like, yeah, we have Tensor and it's okay. When you start going into the heavy usage things, is it going to be better than a Snapdragon powered S25 Ultra? Is it going to be better at processing video than an iPhone Pro Max? No. So yeah, that's kind of my feeling. It kind of feels to me like Google is leaning into their software and their AI to make up for the lack of what they've done inside the phone. But for everybody else, the Pixel 10 Pro XL is a fantastic flagship that leans heavily into AI with both the strengths and weaknesses that come with it. If you have an older Pixel you want to upgrade, definitely pick it up. If you have a 9 Pro XL, I'd wait. So that is my thoughts on the Pixel 10 Pro XL. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Google pushed forward with the Pixel 10 Pro XL? Did they phone it in? Are you happy with it? Are you thinking of picking it up? Let me know in the comments down below. And that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, smash that like button for me. Don't forget to click that subscribe and ring that little bell to be notified of new videos just like this one. Keep a look at the channel. I have a lot more down to earth tech review and accessory videos coming for you, so stay tuned. And if you want to see some more Pixel related content, you can check it out right here.